and we're good for your health as well. We were marking World Hepatitis Day today, and we wanted to talk about it because, again, there's so many things that we choose not to talk about because they don't affect us so directly, or we think they don't affect us so directly, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's hepatitis? Like, there's A, B, C, and then it's like, okay, no, there's D and E, and we have no idea,
Yeah.
like the things that are going on in, with our health and our bodies and our livers and things like that.
Funny how, this is on a lighter note, funny how there's some diseases that are more popular than others, like malaria, Hepatitis is where we draw the line.
We draw the line, yeah,
But
but
of
not
course,
here.
But not here. We have a special guest this morning. Mariam, just take over.
Yeah, Dr. Allan Pamba is in studio with us. He is going to be, like I said before, we're marking World Hepatitis Day. So he's going to be breaking down, the disease. Can we prevent it? How do we treat it? What do we need to know about it? How communicable is it? Things like that. And we'll be having that conversation with him for the next hour. I want to welcome Dr. Allan Pamba in studio. He is the Executive Vice President at Roche Diagnostics, Executive Vice President for Africa, right?
That's right.
At Roche Diagnostics. Karibu sana, Dr. Allan Pamba.
Thank you, Mariam.
We wanted to say, first of all, a big welcome, and I thank you for taking your time to spend the morning with us. And also, just from a Monanchi point of view, what is hepatitis, and what are the different types of it? Because I'm just like, what do you mean A, B, C, D, E? You know what's going on?
I know, it sounds like a nursery rhyme, doesn't it, Mariam?
Yeah.
No, first of all, thank you to you and Brian. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
And good morning to all the listeners out there. World Hepatitis Day, the theme, one life, one liver. Very true, very important. The liver is one of those organs that performs a lot of vital functions. And if you think about it, you have 2 kidneys, you have 2 lungs, so you have a spare one. But when it comes to your heart or your liver, you've got this one. So you've got to take good care of it. And what many people don't know is the liver actually performs about 500 silent functions that are vital to maintain our lives. You only discover this when it stops working. And hepatitis is one of those situations where the liver can stop working. In very simple terms, hepatitis is inflammation of the liver. So the liver is injured, and it can be injured through different mechanisms. There can be chemical causes of injury. Here primarily are drugs that we take, the medicines we take when we are ill. So you can imagine your entire life you're taking medicines. Some of them can actually be harmful to your liver in wrong doses. And the second way is what we're talking about today, which is infection primarily by hepatitis viruses. And as you said, 5 of them, A, B, C, D, and E. So inflammation of the liver is, hepatitis causes inflammation of the liver, which has both short-term and long-term implications.
What are the differences between those strains? And maybe not from so much a technical point of view, but maybe from their prevalence, and things like that.
So actually, A and E is the mode of transmission. A, and also the consequences of getting them. A and E are generally transmitted through food and dirty water. So mostly through the mouth. And then B and C, these are the big categories, are actually the bigger ones and the more concerning ones. These are transmitted through bodily fluids, primarily blood and blood products, but can also be sexually transmitted, which many people don't realize.
That's true. You don't think of, when you're listing down STIs and STDs, you don't think hepatitis.
Nobody thinks about hepatitis.
Yeah.
That's right. And you know why? Because hepatitis is a silent infection. When you get it, it takes a while before you get symptoms. And when you start getting the symptoms, it's kind of too late. It's already caused damage. And on a good side, majority of us will deal with the infection and clear it. But there's a portion of the population who will progress to have something called chronic hepatitis. And that's where the problem begins, because it can lead to liver cancer.
Yeah, my question is basically on the theme this year. The theme is settled on. We're not waiting. It's something really catchy, but that's not just a catchphrase. What's the detail in it?
So the detail in it is, let's wake up to the fact that this is a huge problem, but a problem that can be solved nonetheless. If you look at global statistics, there are about, I'm going to focus on hepatitis B and C because those are the ones that, as I will explain, have the worst consequences. There are about 8,000 infections that happen every day. This leads to about 1 million deaths globally every year. And about 20,000 of those deaths are here in the continent of Africa. Yeah. When you get infected, as I said, majority of us will resolve that infection and get better. Your body will build immunity and you'll be fine. But for those who progress into chronic infection, in the world today, we have 350 million people living with chronic hepatitis B and C. 350 million.
That's a lot.
It's a lot because if you think about HIV/AIDS, which people will know, we have 39 million people
Wow.
with HIV/AIDS.
That's almost 10 times.
Exactly.
Wow.
But hepatitis B and C chronic, 350 million people. Now, the bad news is less than 20% of them know they have it. In fact, if you look at hepatitis B, it's less than 10%. So majority don't know they have it. When you have chronic hepatitis, one, you can transmit it to other people. But two, it's constantly damaging your liver. And a quarter of those 350 million people, we go on to develop liver cancer. Liver cancer is terrible. When you get there, you're looking at liver transplant as a treatment option or a cure option. How many of us have that option? Not many.
Very few.
Yes. So we don't get there.
True.
And this year is about creating awareness about hepatitis because you have one liver and we have solutions to eliminate this disease or certainly at an individual level to protect ourselves from it.
We'll get into those solutions because I think that's really important to go into if vaccinations or other measures to prevent.